Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back with another edition of the Zero Hour. Tim Lloyd with my man Jeff Hobbs. Jeff, today we've got the one half of our co-main event coming up next weekend. Aries 12, October 7th, from the world famous Cotton Eye Joe. Daniel Kilburn joins us today. Excited to talk to him ahead of his clash with Joseph Hishmeh.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's going to be this fight's going to be fucking fire, man. Two young guys in the game, uh, good amateur records right now. We've got 3-1, 3-0.
Mhm.
Man, this is fire. If it wasn't for the fact that the big boys are on the card, it's hard to put heavyweight, not put heavyweights on the top, which is also a title fight. We'll talk about that later. This fight right here headlines any other show that we put on. So I'm pumped. I'm excited, and
Daniel, yeah, go
I'm
ahead, Jeff.
ready.
Sorry.
I'm ready to learn about Barnyard MMA. I need the inside scoop on Barnyard MMA too.
I think we're going to get it today. Daniel, thanks for joining us, man. I know this is what would typically be the quote unquote hell week as we get into the final push here, getting ready for that the hard sparring this week and then the weight cut next week. How's it going, my man?
It's going good, man. I'm living the dream. It's probably I know it's kind of cliche to say, but it's been the best camp that I've had. I feel the best that I've ever felt, and I'm just ready to display what we've been working on up here.
Well, man, it's been a while since we've seen you down this way. You had a kickboxing bout down this way, a year or so back, and impressive there. But in the meantime, you've been racking up wins on the MMA scene, 3-1 now coming in, and back in those days, you're with representing Triple Crown MMA. Now, so you split off. You started your own thing, Barnyard MMA. Before we get into talking about this fight, tell us a little bit about this new venture. I know we've had one or two guys so far come down. Of course, yourself, Jeff Johnson, got a nice crop of guys, it looks like, on the come up here. Tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on.
Yeah, man. So, and I was training with Jeff up there. Me and Jeff started training together in 2008. And I took a little hiatus and heard he was coaching at Triple Crown, so competing with them. And it's a really long commute from my house to Triple Crown. So I started stuff like that and started in my living room, went to the garage, eventually went to the bar, and just I was like, you know what? Let's try our hand at it. And I rented a building about a year, and then eventually I decided to ask all my friends that I've been doing this with forever venture in with me, and then that's when Jeff and Tyler and another friend of ours, Josh Ross, and it's just been growing from there, man. We're in a new 3,000 square foot location, and like I could not be happier with the growth of the gym right now. It's been real awesome to see, man.
Hey, it's great to hear, man. It's great to hear. Congratulations. And I'm sure you guys are going to continue to keep growing this thing. Let's talk about this one we got coming up. It is now right about a week out from weigh-ins, and it'll be Joseph Hishmeh on the other side of you, 3-0 out of Shield Systems here in Knoxville. What's your take on this one, man? I think both you guys are very different fighters, but both very skilled and dangerous in your own right. For me, quick take on it, I think that you would have the striking edge of what I've gathered. Hishmeh, a proficient technical grappler. I'd give him the grappling edge. I think where it will be decided will be in the in-betweens, if you will. Neither of you guys known to be super decorated wrestlers per se. And so it'll be interesting to me to see who can control where they want the fight to be and whose will is greater, because this thing is potentially 5 rounds, which neither of you guys have gone that amount of time yet. And as you get ready to get towards your pro debuts, which I'm sure is coming up in the future, it'll be a good experience to potentially get that much ring time in, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He watched a little bit of tape on the guy. It's not a guy we're taking lightly. I'm pretty excited for this one. I like, and you know what I mean. I went the toughest of the tough, and this kid's definitely going to be a challenge. I'm excited to see where I think I might have the advantage on the feet, but if it goes to the ground, I'm excited to kind of see where I'm at now. I've been back when I started in 2008. I did jiu-jitsu back then, so it's not like I haven't been, been as consistent as I have been with the Muay Thai and so on. But I'm excited to test if it comes to there, but I don't plan on letting it go anywhere that I don't want it to go.
Jeff, what you got for Daniel here ahead of this title fight? Looking at Daniel's Tapology, one thing that stood out to me that was an impressive win was a win over Johnny Gill, a guy that we saw down in Augusta who showed some great wrestling chops.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that as well. First and foremost, not a question, just a comment. I think it's cool as shit that Barnyard MMA was not just a catchy name. You were actually in a barn at one time, so that's awesome.
Yep.
But again, looking at your record, a lot of people kind of judge fighters based on their wins. I want to talk about your loss. Your one loss went the distance. What was the fight that you took away and grew from? What was it about that fight where you kind of fell short? Where did you see your shortcomings in that fight, and what have you done to improve on that?
So yeah, that was a Jacob Master, and basically I wasn't grappling enough at all. We had not grappling program at Barnyard at the time. I was getting rounds in when I could, but not so. He just manhandled me. To be 100% honest, which anywhere we went, I didn't know what to do. That was the absolute worst feeling I've ever had, and I had to make sure it wasn't happening again. So since I think I'm grappling more than I'm on the feet since December. We've huge strides, and not just my jiu-jitsu, but my wrestling and just everywhere.
That's awesome, man. I think what you said, you said you're not taking Hishmeh lightly, and I think it's maybe something that even we at times, Tim and myself, have done. Not necessarily taken Joseph lightly, but just been really surprised every time he stepped in the cage that we thought he was going to have trouble with an opponent that he didn't. What are some of the things you said you've done some research that have surprised you about him?
Savvy as far as transitions go on the ground. Typically I've noticed it's like early amateur careers, they're more spazzy, I guess, to like actual competition. Right. The same guys that are doing great in the gym, once it comes to the big lights, you know what I mean? He's real savvy on the ground. I don't think he's gonna have any trouble if there's a fight real composed. So I think it's gonna be a good one. I think we both kind of got that edge on most people. Been doing this so long, when the fire comes on, I've been there so many times in the gym, it's not much different. And this mindset, he doesn't freak out. And that's really what stood out to me, that he's really composed.
That's honestly, that's a good eye, that you saw that, because it is something I think people don't realize, is that for his young age, he is very composed in there. You talked a little bit, last thing I've got for you, you talked a lot about early on, everybody that helped make Barnyard MMA, what it is right now. Tell us, and especially, our matchmaker, Tim Loy, who's on the air with us, tell us somebody at Barnyard MMA that has not fought for us yet that we need to keep our eye on, and that, that we need to get on our next card with you. Who's the guy in the gym that nobody knows about right now that's going to be the next guy that you're calling Tim to get on a card?
Well, look, I mean, we got two guys that are chopping at the bit right now. One of them's actually going to be on the card with us. He's an animal, man. He's been chomping at the bit in here, going toe-to-toe with he's doing his kickboxing debut. And then we also got our jiu-jitsu coach, Tyler Hampton. Sean making MMA debut. He's 3-0 in kickboxing. Neither of them really have a big name. It's MMA, so nobody knows him. And I'm telling you, these guys put it on me. And when they finally get up under them big lights, I think they're going to put on a show. Absolutely.
Nice. Well, we're excited.
Yeah, man, for sure. Before we wrap this up, let's talk about, real quickly, some short, long-term goals. You mentioned you've been at this for several years already. There's already been talk about, transitioning to pro shortly after this. What are your goals here? Both short-term, say over the next several months, and long-term. Obviously, you started your own gym now. You've been at this for several years. I would imagine you're looking to turn professional sooner than later.
We've been talking about going pro after this one. Obviously, I'd like to take things step by step. So we'll see. Stepping stone. We're going to see how this fight goes, and if everything turns out the way we're planning on it and the way we want it to, then. But honestly, like you said, I've been doing this for a while now. I find myself as a professional. I'm going to take the next to 6 years to see how that goes. The gym's doing that, continues its progress, and eventually, you know what I mean. If I have a successful career and live a happy ever after at Barnyard MMA, man, I want to see this gym put talent in the U.S. So if I can create a name for myself and bring that type of notoriety to the gym, then I'm gonna kind of create that next step for the next guys in Barnyard.
I love it. I love where your head's at, my man. I can tell you, one guy that's already kind of set his sights on the winner of this fight, Brivin Sullivan, kind of waiting in the wings potentially for the winner of this one. And I can tell you, either way that matchup went between you or Hishmeh, I think Jeff would agree would be a really badass next fight for somebody. Regardless, I'm gonna let you give some shout outs where they're due, man. Any friends, family, training partner, sponsors you want to give some love to, I'll let you have it, and then let people know where they can find your social media as well.
All right. I'd like to give a really big shout out to Dream Raps. They're in Newport, Kentucky. He's been a really good. Shout out to Jeff and Tyler for all the tools that I need. My wife for taking care of all the in-betweens. And yeah, that's about all I got for
you got the important one, Daniel.
Yeah.
You got the important one, buddy. That's the wife.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. If it wasn't for her, she's my backbone for sure.
And I'm gonna let you pimp your gym too, man. How can people find out more information about Barnyard MMA?
So we're on Facebook. You can just look us up on Google. We Instagram. It's Barnyard_MMA_ me up. Killshot_Kilburn on basically every platform. And Road Critton in Kentucky. If anybody ever wants to come up, first class is free. Give us a try. And yes.
It's been Daniel Kilburn, folks, getting ready to co-main event next Friday, October 7th, from the world-famous Cotton Eye Joe. It's Aries Fight Series 12. You can get your tickets at fightertickswithan.com. Make sure you select Daniel from the drop-down menu so he gets some credit there. And then, of course, you can catch the pay-per-view at spectationsports.com. Hey, thanks so much for the time, Daniel. Looking forward to next week.
We'll see y'all next week. Can't wait.
See you, my man.